Hi, my name is JJ Conway, and today we're going to talk about the top money myths that are keeping you broke. Once you bust free of these myths, you'll be able to build financial independence so you can stop feeling trapped, so you can have more control over your life, so you can have more time, energy, and money for the things you really care about. Despite all our hard work, it seems like at the end of the day, we don't have enough time, money, energy to spend on the things that are truly making us happy. And it's all because we've bought into seven key myths. Now, look, this is a short talk, so I don't have at my command the time to really dig into all seven myths like I would want to if we were working one on one. So I'm going to gift each of you a $500 3-month financial coaching package just for spending time with me today. Together, we'll uncover which of these money myths might be impacting your financial future and kick them to the curb. We're going to kick them out of your life for good. All right. Before we look at these money myths that are keeping us broke, first I want to tell you why I'm so passionate about this thing. You see, people know me as retired Lieutenant Colonel Conway, and they see the 13 books that I read, and you can see some of them behind me. They look at the ones that were international bestsellers. They see the photos of me working at the White House, marathons, Tough Mudder Spartans that I used to do back when I was a little more fit. They see me as a finalist for Miss Veteran America. But what they don't know is that I was written off at a very young age as being slow, and the pain of being excluded that only made me work harder to prove my worth. I know some of you feel that pain today. And what people really don't know is that as a cadet at the Air Force Academy, I was told that I couldn't declare my major because they said blacks can't do physics. Well, I did it anyway. And what people don't see now are those days when I was struggling and on the verge of giving up, but too angry to let them be right. People don't see the tears that I cried and cried and cried until my instructor, on a day when all the other physics instructors were gone, finally leveled with me. Look, he said, my job is to get rid of you. And if you'll stop coming in here, I will stop feeding you the wrong answers. Well, I stopped going into his office, graduated as the #1 space physics grad that year, and I did physics in the Air Force for 23 years. Those skills of perseverance came in handy. Excuse me. Came in handy when I came home from a military trip to find my house sold, stuff thrown out, and divorce papers in my face. And when the dust settled, y'all, I was a military single mom facing almost $1 million of debt. That was 2009. And today, I'm completely retired, full-time mom running an international business that empowers women to win with money. And many of you watching, you have had people telling you what you can't do. You've had people feeding you the wrong answers. You've had people doing you wrong, but you persevered and you did it anyway. So I do want to celebrate you. I want to celebrate you today. But I was never going to get where I am today if I kept buying into the same money myths that I grew up with. And neither will you. Forbes magazine reports that 78% of Americans are one emergency away from bankruptcy, and most Americans can't even cover a $400 emergency out of pocket. Even worse, money problems can fracture relationships, cause depression, shame, anxiety, and, important to me as a mom, stifle the next generation's success. 80% of American households carry consumer debt and will never pay it off. The only thing they're leaving to the next generation is debt and disappointment. You didn't work this hard to be a statistic. Let's do something about it. All right, myth number one. Myth number one that people buy into that keeps them broke is that they think that money is too complicated. I mean, there's the insurance thing, and then there's the stock market. And oh, by the way, you got to learn what to pick, when to pick it, or you can lose all your money. And then what's a penalty, what's not a penalty. I mean, what's pre-tax, what's not pre-tax, what's an option. I mean, and plus the laws, they keep changing like almost every day. And you're like, I want to get involved, but it's just too complicated. And so you're taking the easy way. I mean, maybe you put money in savings. Congratulations, you're doing more than most Americans. And maybe today you got money in a 401k or a self-directed IRA or a Roth IRA. I mean, like that's really great compared to most people, y'all. But deep down, money just felt so complicated. And you knew that you could have had more. You could have been further along financially than you are right now. And maybe you wonder if there's got to be an easier way. Well, there is, and we're going to talk about it today. Myth number two that keeps people broke is that the system is stacked against you. Now, let's be real. The system is stacked against many of us in this great old USA, especially women of color. No doubt about that. In fact, it's the core theme of my Juneteenth Legacy Conference. The system is stacked against us. And since we can't trust anybody else to do anything about it or even care, what are we going to do about it to build these 7- and 8-figure businesses, right? That's a real thing. It's a real issue. But I want you to hear this clearly. This country's government system may be stacked against you. The culture of where you live might be stacked against you. And maybe even the hiring, firing, promotion, unofficial policies on your job might be stacked against you. But that doesn't mean the monetary system is stacked against you. See, they just want you to feel that way so you'll feel hopeless and keep buying their stuff. So you'll feel like you can't win and settle for average. So you'll do like so many others and trade away the feast of freedom for the safety of the crumbs from their table. I'm going to tell you today, and if you work with me, you're going to hear it for as long as we're working together. Abundance is woven into the fabric of the universe. And whether you share my faith or not, this world was created with very specific laws that allow any of us to bust through generational cycles of poverty and sickness to become financially, physically, relationshiply free. And when you work with me, you will learn those time-tested success strategies and take your financial life to the next level. Myth number three that's keeping us broke, y'all, this one's insidious. I am not enough. Now, look, I know, you're probably thinking, I got money, I pay my bills, I got good credit. Yet when you look in the mirror, you tell yourself, I'm not good enough. I'm not enough. Okay. Maybe you don't use those words, right? Maybe what you say is, well, I don't have the talent to play at that level. Maybe you say, well, I don't have a college degree. Maybe you tell yourself, it's been a big challenge. It's been a rough year. And really, I'm doing so well compared to my family and where I've come from. I should just be content with what I'm at. Most people will see your success, but deep down, there's another level. You don't know if you're good enough for that next level. And like I said, we don't use those words, but it shows up when we don't put the time into it. We get so far and then self-sabotage. And that's the real danger of this myth. It demotivates and discourages you from taking the very simple actions that could change your wealth journey in just 24 hours. Myth number four that's keeping us broke, discipline is bondage. Oh, yeah. How many times have you gone to a financial or empowerment conference and the first thing they tell you is all school does is create employees who will never be free? And they make it seem like if you just buy their next course, bam, financial independence is right around the corner. But here's what's really holding us back from getting the financial security, the independence we want: lack of discipline. And I know that's weird, right? Because people think you have discipline, right? I know they thought I had discipline. You're in the military, you're a manager, you're an entrepreneur, you're a leader. But really, sometimes our greatest strengths are our greatest weaknesses. Isn't that often the case? Isn't that how life is sometimes? So you're doing okay, but you know you're not where you should be. And you know what you need to do. You just can't seem to make yourself do it. You don't say you lack discipline, but it shows up in more results. It shows up in procrastination. You're a leader in your church, your community, your job, and people come to you and you're so giving and you're making such a difference. When you tell me you procrastinate, when you tell me you got sucked into Netflix and phone games instead of making the phone calls you need to make, I know, I know your struggle. And I know it because I've been there. And you can feel it, can't you? And you're so tight-laced and disciplined in one area that it's hard to think about being undisciplined in another area. But one of my mentors and coaches told me, how we do anything is how we do everything. And we might be one way in one area, but it's those lower baseline procrastinations and lack of disciplines that are really keeping us from reaching that next level. And like I said, there's got to be a better way. An African proverb says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. I am so thankful now for the coaches in my life that taught me how simple tweaks to my daily schedule create a tsunami wave of impact to my wealth and happiness. Now, those tweaks are different from person to person, and it would take more than this talk for me to list them all. So I encourage you to write down the link that I'm going to give you later and claim your $500 gift of 3 months working with me to really uncover the areas of your life that can be better aligned to those universal laws of abundance, those time-tested success strategies that I talked about. It'll help you make more money, have more fun with far less effort. Myth number 5 that's keeping us broke is it takes money to make money, and I ain't got no money. Yeah, maybe you're listening right now and you feel like the only thing holding you back right now as an entrepreneur is that it takes money to make money. And it's really like, well, I'm putting my money in my business right now. That's why I really can't build financial freedom because I gotta put my time in. I gotta pay my dues and I gotta do this and I gotta do that and I gotta invest in myself and I gotta fill in the blank. Or maybe you don't know if investing works for people like you because you saw others lose their money in the stock market. And you're like, I can't afford to lose a dime right now. Let me tell you something. My 26 years of financial planning experience has taught me that there are two types of people who fall prey to this myth. They typically lose with this myth of it takes money to make money. The first are those who feel like they got to go big or go home and borrow, borrow, borrow to win with money. Now, I'm going to talk about that more in myth number 7. But for now, let me talk about the group of people who really breaks my heart. The other category of those who lose big with this myth of it takes money to make money. They're the ones that feel hopeless and they don't even try anymore. They've tried so hard. They've done all the things. They've gone to all the seminars. They've done everything that they could do in the world around them. And sometimes even their family and friends, they gain so much profit from keeping them bound in this hopeless myth. They need somebody, and maybe it's you today, need somebody who broke free of this myth to really help see that it doesn't take a lot of money to make money. Now, it does take having something of value. But as Wallace Waddle says in The Science of Getting Rich, if you don't have money abundance, give the world what form of abundance you do have, whether that's spiritual, physical, relationship, intellectual, and you will be compensated financially. According to a comprehensive study of self-made millionaires back in 2019, the top 3 categories of self-made millionaires in this country are engineers, accountants, and get this, number 3 is teachers. And that mirrors what I've seen all these years helping people. Those who achieve financial independence, as in they no longer have to work to provide for their lifestyle, have been actually my lower earners. Why? Because they figure they got nothing to lose. So they follow the principles of sowing and reaping that I teach. Often the high earners feel like, oh, that's too simple. And so they never actually implement the time-tested success strategies that work for everybody that will work them. Oh, y'all, it's one of my biggest frustrations is when I run into somebody who's making over $100,000 a month and they haven't got $100 in the bank. Did I say that right? I probably didn't say that right. One of my biggest frustrations is some people who come to me. They make over $100,000 a month and don't have but $100 in their bank account. It's time to do better. It's time to become financially free for real. Myth number 6 is keeping us broken. Y'all, this one hurt my heart. That handbag is an investment. I'm here to tell you, no, it's not. And I wonder who else is laughing with me because you too fell into that trap. Girl, that handbag is not an investment. Guy, that car is not an investment. That fur is sure enough not an investment. An investment is something that brings you a return. It brings you a return on your money. Guess who made an investment? The credit card company made an investment in you when they sold you on that everywhere you want to be lifestyle because they know that you're not going to pay that off in full every month all the time. Now, some people do. I'm not mad at you, but most people don't. You know how I know? Because they come to me. They come to me and I'm like, well, you did exactly what the credit card company calculated you would do. They know. They know. And those rewards programs for the 0.5% that actually pay off their bill in full every time, those rewards programs are built on the backs of our sisters and brothers who float that car with minimum payments, living paycheck to paycheck, and consoling ourselves with, well, at least I got the points and I get the free vacation. It is not a free vacation when you had to pay 24% interest to get the free vacation. All right. Now look, when we bought them bags, when we bought that car, when we bought that fur, it might have been a business decision. It might have helped us look good and close the deal. But unless that deal costs way more than that bag, that car, that fur, that's a business expense, not an investment. So buy the bag, yes, but buy it with money that you have left over after you have invested in your future. A lot of people ask me, well, what should we invest in? No matter what you hear on TV and financial blogs, I'm here to tell you, most of those gurus, at least the ones who are financially independent and are most aren't, y'all, I'm serious. Most financially independent money gurus, and I know because I've met many of them in person and had private talks with them, invest in two things: the stock market and real estate. Now, I'm not saying they don't buy and flip companies. I do too, and I teach my clients how. I'm not saying they don't buy crypto, which I consider more of a speculation than an investment right now. I do, and I teach my clients how. But that's after we've invested in solid investments that are going to build us a financial future that is independent of what anybody else can do to us. If you want financial peace today, it's time to stop doing what late night TV says and what your mama and your daddy and your friend from the barbershop say, and take those time-tested success strategies that are known to be financial peace and put them to work for you. Watch out, y'all, for investments that really aren't. And you'll know because they don't guarantee anything. In fact, they're often pushed by people who want you to invest in their legacy, i.e., you pay them, they fund their family's financial tree, and they give you no guarantees that it'll do anything for you. Let me tell you something. At Conway Financial Group, we offer a double your money back guarantee because I know if you follow our step-by-step process, you will dump debt, build wealth, and become financially secure within 5 to 7 years. I make that promise to you. I have lived that promise from $845,000 of debt to being financially secure. Myth number 7 that is keeping us broke, y'all. And this one's going to hurt. I'm going to lose a lot of friends over this, but I wouldn't be the world leading financial planner if I didn't share this with you. All right. So can we just be friends here? Can you just walk with me for a few minutes down this road? Myth number 7 is the late night TV and hotel room conference mantra that most self-made millionaires made their money by leveraging debt. 2 national surveys, one conducted in the 80s and is captured in the book Your Money or Your Life, and the more recent one that I mentioned earlier that's captured in Everyday Millionaires, confirm what financial planners know to be true. Most self-made millionaires in this country invested their way to wealth. They're engineers, accountants, and teachers, and they made their wealth the only way that works 100% of the time for 100% of the people who do it. Spend less than you make and invest the rest. It's not cool. It's not sexy. But as a financial planner who's watched a lot of people lose everything in cool and sexy ventures, I recommend most of my clients invest in. They don't buy the house. Now, that's not good enough for today's grown folk. Oh, viral splash. You got to grab that market share. They run up credit cards and take out home equity lines and brag about other people's money until the daisy chain of debt crashes around them, leaving them facing bankruptcy and the shame that goes with it. If that's you today, don't walk in shame anymore. I've been there. And just like I was coached out of this myth, I can help you make more money and achieve your financial dreams with the talent, energy, health, and resources you have right now. You've been doing money alone for too long. Let's sit down. I can help you maximize your income no matter what financial situation that you are in right now, no matter what health you're in right now. Even if it feels like you don't have the right degrees or pedigrees or the right access, I can help you. Maybe you feel like you don't have time for one more program. Look, I can help you with whatever time constraints you bring to the table. You just gotta have to take that step to get to the table. And when you do, I'll gift you 3 months of working with me at no charge. That's a $500 value, absolutely free. No credit card needed, no strings attached. All you got to do is book that first appointment at jjclink/powercoach. I'm JJ Conway. You can find me on social media at JJ Knows the Way. Now, look, the only way I can know the way is because I know the one who is the way. And if you want to know the way, connect with me today. Thank you for listening.